the next 100 days, I am becoming the Avatar, gaining access to the most extraordinary powers in order to help me take down one of Ark's largest mods, Anunnaki Genesis, and all I have to do is survive to day 100 and take down the final boss. My journey to becoming the Avatar started on a beach that looked like paradise, and I immediately realized how wrong I was when I came across my first modded dinosaur.
Nope. I do not want to die. I want to become the Avatar. I want to become him. Let's get my resources.
I went on and made myself a stone pickaxe, and I used this to penetrate and harass the nearby locals, and get myself some hide by killing dodos.
I am sorry, but I am not sorry. It is all for a cause. Okay, what do I need? What actually do I need? Wood and thatch.
I went on to chop down some trees, getting myself the remaining thatch and wood that I needed, and I made myself the Avatar flag. I also made myself some protective clothing to help against the dangers that I'm going to encounter. But it was finally time to unlock my elemental powers and see what I could do.
Okay, how does this work?
Upon consuming the flag, I gained access to the Avatar, and I now was able to harness the power of air, fire, water, and earth. And it was time to put it to the test.
Oh, let's do that again. What even is this? Dragon breath. Okay. Oh, like a flamethrower. This makes life easy. There's just easy resources. The question is, do I dive? I can fly. I can fly. This means I don't need a PT anymore. Right, let's see what we can do with the earth. That's crazy. This is just firing big boulders. I don't even know where they come from. Like, they just come out of my ass. Like, I don't know. It makes no sense. I'm confused. I can fly around, I can shoot rocks out of my ass. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm very confused. But I'll take the free hide from you. Thank you. Get out of here. I don't even know where he's gone.
Now that I harnessed the power of the Avatar, I was able to do anything. I can even chase dinosaurs around now and hit them with rocks and knock them out, which made my life a little bit easier.
Oh, he's not happy. His friend's not happy. Alright, you wanna attack me, huh? No, I am. I'm the Avatar. Burn him alive. I wonder if I get cooked meat from this. Surely. Nope. Okay. I was hoping a bit too much there. Well, I am a fire-breathing mutant, I guess. Nice. Alright. Oh! What? Oh my god. Well, that makes traveling a lot easier. Oh. Okay. Oh no. Nope. Nope. That was close. Alright, we're good. Utaraptor. Uta.
I continued my adventure through the forest, and I got myself some metal. But there was a few things hiding in the bushes which I had to be careful of.
Ooh, that's a scorpion. Why is it green? That's actually badass scorpion. Okay. Oh, at least I get my... Oh, trank arrows. Thank you for the chitin, sir. Right, let's, there's another one. Oh, I jumped right into its pincers. Okay. Oh, that's more chitin for me, I guess. Thank you. More arrows as well.
I made my way out of the forest as there seemed to be a lot of dangers, and I flew around where things couldn't get me. I also needed crystals, so I began looking around trying to find some. It didn't take me long until I found a bunch, and I harvested it all up like a little goblin.
What are you doing? This is my crystal, buddy. Hadouken. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, there's another one.
Once I dealt with the minor inconvenience, I was able to continue farming my crystal in peace, which meant I now had the crystal I needed to be able to make cryopods. I needed these in order to keep my Triceratops safe, as I didn't have any other way to transport him. Just above me, I found a PT flying, which I figured I may as well just tame. I used my special powers to fly up to him, and I was able to tame him with ease.
Stop flying away from me. Stop. Come here. There we go. Right. This is a bit of an issue. I don't think I can actually make a saddle. So, I'm gonna have to cryopod you. I think I need a higher level. Yes. Okay. Into a cryopod you go.
Once I'd cryopoded both dinosaurs, it was time to continue my adventure looking for somewhere to build. But instead, I came across some very strange explosions.
What? There's a fast monkey. There's a very fast monkey. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Let's scout the perimeter. Right, monkey, I don't see anything else. I think we're good.
I finally got the levels that I needed to make a PT saddle, and I equipped it to my PT. And later that evening, after flying around, I found a mammoth which I had to pulverize with rocks. I needed to kill him for pelt and hide so I could make a bed and go to sleep. On the morning of day 2, I awoke, and I had slept the night outside. I didn't want to be doing that again, so I picked up my bed and foundation. It was time to fly around and try find a place that I could call home. I wanted to set up a base, and on my travels I found some interesting dinosaurs.
Well then, what is this? A blue Spino? Okay, the mantis. That's... Wait, what? Why is there a brood mother up? What the heck? Okay. Ow. Okay, that's not gonna work. This is just gonna get me killed. Let's try a new method. Shoot from my butt. What? Ow. That's not good. This is not good. Not good, not good. Oh my. We're good? We're not good. They're still coming. There's more. Oh! Help. Help. Oh my. Barnacles. Barnacles, barnacles, barnacles. My PT's dead. Well, at least we get myself some chitin and polymer, I guess. But, well, he didn't last very long. And it was me that killed him.
Unfortunately, we suffered our first casualty of the 100 days, but luckily it wasn't me. At least I got myself some resources, but now I had to find myself a new PT. So I began hopping around the desert like a grasshopper in order to find one.
Me too! He's high level as well. Let's tame this. Here we go. Alright, let's not kill this thing this time. That would not be good. There we go, nice and easy. Smooth. This looks nice. Nice area. That doesn't look nice. And that's not nice. Okay, you stay over there. I'll stay here, and I'll live here. You can live over there. Yeah?
Now that I'd found the place where I wanted to build my home, I began farming all the resources and started to place down the foundations. I made a campfire, and I was able to use that to cook up some meat to stop me from going hungry. I then placed down my bed and it was time to go to sleep. I didn't have any walls, but it was fine. Except the next morning when I woke up and I got attacked by a Microraptor. I probably should have placed some walls down.
Get back. Get off me. Okay, here we go. The Microraptors. Pain in the backside. The two of them. Ow! That's not good. Die. Die. Die, 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 die. Big boulder.
Once I neutralized the pesky little thing, I had to then get myself some more fiber. I needed to repair my armor, and I had to pick it by hand. Once I had enough, I was able to repair it all, which meant I had my protection back again. But I also now needed a forge, so I didn't hesitate and I placed one down, placed some wood inside to give it fuel, and I placed the metal. I then harvested some metal nodes nearby to get a little bit extra, as I didn't want to waste metal node on a stone pickaxe, as you don't get as much. I then went and got myself some resources, chopping down some trees, getting myself some stone, and I was able to make myself a second forge. I placed that bad boy down right next to it, and this meant I could now double the speed of my metal crafting, which was going to speed things up. I then proceeded to make myself a smithy, which would allow me to make myself metal tools, which would improve the efficiency of farming. I used it to gather myself some metal and flint, and then I had a little fly around to try find more metal in the vicinity. Unfortunately, I didn't really find much, so I took what I had and filled up the forges, which meant now I would have to go out and try find some more.
Right, where would the metal be? I'm guessing, if I have a gander over here, I might find some. Beautiful, found it. Alright, let's fly back up.
Once I got back, I split the metal into 2 different stacks, and I filled up both the forges. This way, metal would be cooking whilst I continue doing other things, like taming a kangaroo.
Hold up now, let me feed you. This thing just like runs around in circles.
I chased him around for a few minutes and kept on feeding him, and it didn't take long before I tamed him up.
Alright, let's name you Donnie. Here we go. I don't have a saddle, so I'm going to have to cryopod you for now.
Once I got back, I wanted to craft myself some more metal tools, so I made myself a metal hatchet and a metal sickle. This made life a lot easier, which meant I didn't have to sit there hand-picking bushes to get small amounts of fiber.
Look at all that, that's insane.
I then wanted to make myself an Anunnaki Genesis workbench, but I needed cementing paste, so I began crafting some inside the mortar and pestle, but I had a slight problem. I needed more stone, so I went and smashed a few rocks up and I got myself the stone I needed. But after crafting more cementing paste, I realised I now needed chitin, so it was time to kill some little bugs and get what I needed.
These things are so ugly, like they look like aliens. Right, it's scorpions. I think these give a lot of chitin. This should be good. There we go. Let's harvest these. Try, at least. Anyway, hello. There we go. Yeah, that's a lot of chitin. That's good.
Once I gathered my chitin, I began flying around looking for more things to kill or to farm. I came across some metal, which I began to farm it all up and clear the area, and then I flew home with my powers, in which I found another Procoptodon lurking around my base.
Well, I don't need to tame it, but I'm gonna try, I guess. Let's give it a go.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish taming him as I ended up running out of mushrooms, but it was fine as today I had a very progressive day with farming metal and chitin, and ended up eating some food before I got myself to sleep. On the morning of day 4, I woke up with a vengeance. I was sick and tired of hearing this Drake fly around, killing things, and I just wanted to get rid of him.
Boulder throw! There we go. Let's crush him with some rocks. Easy. Do I die if I go in this? I don't know. No, there's a pig though. Get off me. Stupid thing. Get out of here. Oh no! Whoa, whoa, whoa. I want to harvest that. Get back. Hold up. Ooh. There's some loot though.
After taking down the Drake, I harvested his body, and I didn't yet know it, but I looted a very important item which will come in handy later on. But I took revenge on the pig, and it was time to tame myself a Doedicurus so I could farm stone with a dinosaur.
Eat the food. This is slow. Painfully slow. There we go. Fine early.
Now that I had my Doedicurus, it was time to get a saddle. But I was missing fibre, so I had to chop down some bushes, get what I needed, then I was able to make it. Now we had it, I was able to equip it to the Doedicurus, and we was able to start farming our stone so we could build our new house.
Yeah, this is an issue. He can barely even carry me. This is going to be interesting. Yeah, we're struggling for weight here, but let's go back. We got quite a lot though. Good.
I was finally able to make myself the Anunnaki Genesis workbench, which inside allowed me to craft things which would allow me to tame some of the powerful creatures later on in the game. I also made myself a crossbow and tranquilizer arrows, then I went out and found some animals to slaughter and get myself some pelts. I needed the pelt to be able to make myself my first Procoptodon saddle to allow me to farm berries.
Well, let's get to farming. Okay, I can't kick them for some reason. I've got to hit them by hand. Nice.
It turned out that the Procoptodon wasn't as useful as I had hoped, as he didn't really farm berries very well. I got myself some fibre and metal, and I was able to craft myself a pre-made house, which would just be my starter home for now.
No, it's not perfect, but it will do.
I didn't bother moving my bed, and I just slept outside for the night. On day 5, it was time to probably move things in here as it was looking quite empty, but the house itself was looking quite nice. This should do me for the time being until I finally upgrade. I then spent the majority of the morning just moving everything inside, which did take me quite a while, but once it was done and everything was placed, it was looking quite nice in here. After finishing my house, I went out scouting for things to tame, and I found a badass PT. There's 3 different variants: fire, ice, and earth, and I found a fire variant. I had to take care of some sarcos on the beach first, and then I was able to try tame him.
Well, that's a bit of an issue, not gonna lie. That means I'm gonna have to chase him now and shoot him. It's gonna be a bit awkward. Yeah, I'm sick of it. I've missed about half my arrows or more. And now I'm out of energy. And there's a group of raptors. Help. 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 Oh, why is there so many? That's annoying. Right, who are you? Where is it gone? Where is it? Is that it up there? I think it is. Yeah, it is. There we go. Finally.
After losing half my brain cells flying around trying to knock this thing out, I eventually tamed him up. I returned home and I had to decide what name I was going to give him.
Name him Baddie. Paddy the Baddie. The badass PT.
After a successful day, it was time to get myself to sleep, and on day 6, I was flying around when I came across a new type of modded dinosaur.
Okay, I am feeding this, but I can't see that I am. Right, I got a baby badass Frosty. I have no Scooby what this thing is. Interesting.
I took it home and I threw it out in hopes that it would grow to a full-grown dinosaur, but I had no idea whether it would or not. I then went out and found myself an Ankylosaurus which would help me farm metal. The only problem was it got jumped by a prime alpha saber-tooth, which had quite a lot of health.
Okay, that thing has got a lot of health. 100,000. This is, oh, the Ankylo's dead. You're gonna wish you didn't do that. You are gonna wish you didn't do that. Yeah, this is exactly... Burn! Burn! Okay. Oh, it's taking so long. Wait, we'll hold him now. Pull him out! Okay, that's close, very close.
After nearly dying and taking him down, I got myself some black pearls from killing him and some extra loot. I went on to find another Ankylosaurus, which I spent pretty much the rest of the day trying to knock him out. Once he was knocked out, all I had to do was give him his berries and wait for the next day. But this is no ordinary Ankylosaurus, it's an earth one, which means it will farm more resources. And on day 7, he ate the last of the berries, and I was finally able to test him out.
Right, let's see what this thing can do. Should farm more, I hope. Oh yeah, well that's good. This is helpful. Oh, no more hitting things by hand anymore. I could just use this.
I continued farming, getting all the metal and crystal that I could, and once I was full on resources, it was time to transport it back to the house. Once I arrived back, I began filling up the forges, and I realised I should probably place more down. And finally, I took a look at what I could do with the Drake trophy, which I looted, and it turns out I can actually tame my own Drake if I get myself some golden dodo kibble. It was finally time to go to sleep, and on the morning of day 8, I began placing down more forges. I filled them all up with metal and wood, and I realised I probably needed to get some more. So I went out and chopped down some trees, and once I had enough wood, it was time to return back to the base and fill them up. I also made myself a blueprint maker, which should actually allow me to make better weapons. All I had to do was turn them into blueprints and upgrade them.
Oh yes, look at that. Upgrade this as well. There we go. That'll be better for farming. Oh yeah, that's way better. So much better.
The higher quality sickle did improve the amount of resources I farmed, and it also sped it up. I also had myself a better crossbow, which would make taming a lot easier. I used the fibre which I farmed to make myself a better pickaxe and a better hatchet. This will also make farming a bit easier in the future. I woke up and on day 9, I wanted to go get myself some obsidian. So I flew around with my avatar powers and I found some. With my better pickaxe, all it took was one hit to break it, and I got the resources I needed. I continued flying around until I came across some animals, which I decided I would kill and harvest with my new hatchet.
Oh yeah, that's it. Just farm the body that I wanted to harvest. Thank you. I'll have the kiting though. Oh my god. Oh, where did that even come from? Oh my god. Right, get payback. There you go. Wait, how many is there? Oh, dinosaurs. Let's farm in peace now.
I farmed up all the area and got myself a bunch of obsidian, and I carried on flying around until I found a new threat.
Ooh! Oh my god. Why did they jump like that?
After my life flashed before me, I harvested them for the chitin and polymer, which was quite nice. I continued flying and I did eventually find a golden dodo, but I had to clear the area before I tried to kill him, as he was quite tanky.
Right sir, I'm gonna have to kill you. I need my Drake kibble, my Drake food. So, sorry. Die. Die. There we go. Finally. Wow. Really? Really? Well, at least I got a few.
After getting my kibble, I flew around and I found an island infested with raptors.
Oh my, if I went over there, I'd get devoured. Wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of raptors. If I went over there, I'm pretty sure this 100 days would be over and I would have died. So I didn't bother risking it, and instead I went underwater getting myself some pearls so I could craft electronics and get myself a fabricator. While I was here, I also got myself some oil, but there wasn't really a lot here. I went home and I was able to craft myself my fabricator and place it down. And finally, I went and crafted myself some electronics, so they'll be crafting overnight.
Oh yes, 100 electronics.
Finally, it was time to bring the day to an end and go to sleep. On day 10, I wanted to tame a new creature. I wanted something that could gather wood, so I found a beaver and I figured I'd try tame him.
Oh, calm down, buddy. Oh, alright, I'll shoot you from up here then. Okay, I lost all my armor, but he is knocked out.
It didn't take too long after giving him the food that I tamed him up. On my way home, I found a pack of direwolves, which I killed with my rocks to get myself more pelts. After causing a massacre, I harvested all the bodies, and it was time to return back to the house, where I went to sleep. On day 11, I woke up, and I made myself a beaver saddle. With this, I could equip it to the beaver, and now start my wood farming.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's so much wood. Okay, I have so much wood. But let's see how much I actually have. 41,000. Yeah, that's enough.
Now that I had myself a bunch of resources, I wanted to make myself a pre-made trap. I could use this to trap things like argents or anything that is kind of small.
Right, let's see how big this thing is. Okay, yeah, that'll do. That's a big gate. Oh yeah, that's a very big gate. Okay, that's a bit too big. Let's make a smaller one.
Once I made myself a smaller gate, I headed over and found myself a poison Argentavius, which I planned to use to knock creatures out. All I had to do was lead him into the trap.
Come on, Up you come. There you go. Right. Get in here. Come on. In you come. In you come. Beautiful. Let's place the gate on. Here we go. Okay. Hello?
It turned out that I couldn't actually hit him with arrows, so I had to use my tranquilizer rocks as my avatar to be able to knock him out. But I had another problem.
Why can't I access it? Pick this up. What?
I ended up giving up on taming the poison Argentavius as I couldn't access his inventory. Instead, I found a poison PT that wasn't too far away. I chased him around until I eventually knocked him out, but I kind of upset a Bronto while I was doing so.
Okay, I think I hit it with an arrow. Yeah, I did. Let's kill it. Okay, let's smack me away. Alright, there we go. That's easy enough. Actually, let's harvest you for some hide. Oh yeah, 500. That's pretty good. Alright, where did I... There he is. Okay, let's give this thing some meat. Prime meat. Here we go. Tame. Tame! Badass PT. Poison. Alright, let's try this thing out, see what it can do. Oh! Oh my god, I just knocked it out. What the? How much torpor does it do? That's quite a lot. That's actually not bad.
Once I tamed my PT, I headed over to the mountains to farm some resources, and I almost died.
Oh no. Oh, this isn't good. Oh, I nearly did that to start. I was so close. A PT. No. Come down here. Come back here. Oh my god. You're all... He's gonna die. He's gonna die. Oh, jump on it. Oh, that was close. Oh, wow.
Thankfully, we just about survived, and I was able to make my way to the top of the mountain to continue farming my crystal. I needed to get some for an industrial forge later on. On day 12, I tamed myself a second poison PT, which enabled me to be able to mate them, and I could get myself some poison PT eggs. Once they finished mating, I threw down an air conditioning unit and threw down the eggs. I was able to claim my first babies. I then went for a dip in the ocean to get myself some more silica pearls. Luckily, as the avatar, I was able to swim faster, which helped out a lot. Also, I found a basilosaurus, which I used my avatar abilities underwater to kill him.
Alright, let's harvest this. Oh my. That is a lot of oil. Wow.
I then headed back home, and I took a look at what I needed to be able to make my industrial forge to cook metal faster. Turned out I only needed metal ingots, so I just had to wait. In the meantime, my baby PT had finished raising, and it was time to get myself to sleep. On the morning of day 13, my metal had finished smelting, which meant I could finally go ahead and craft myself the industrial forge.
Right, let's craft it. There we are. Place it here. Alright, let's pull all the metal into it and let's see how fast it crafts. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that is fast.
Now that I had myself my industrial forge, I went ahead and picked up the smaller ones. I also placed myself down a chemistry bench, and I went out of my doedicurus to get myself some stone. Once I finished getting all the stone, I returned back to the chemistry bench and I transferred it all inside. I was then able to go ahead and make myself some cementing paste for building later on. To finish off the day, I made myself another pre-made structure which I'll be using to store my dinosaurs inside.
Let's place it down. Alright, that's bigger than I expected.
On day 14, I started placing lighting around the house as it gets kind of dark. Once I finished, I started making myself some foundations so I could actually build my own house. Once I finished placing my foundations, I was running a bit dry on resources, so I went out with my Ankylosaurus and I started farming a bunch of flint, stone and metal.
Oh yeah, let's get it all. Everything.
By the time I finished getting all my resources back, it was time to sleep. On day 15, I began construction on my new house, but I had no idea how I was going to do it.
Oh yeah, that's a nice door.
I then spent the rest of the day crafting all my structures that I was going to need, as it took quite a while. On day 16 through to 19, I began farming and building, and eventually on day 20, I had finished.
Oh yeah, it's like a village here now. A little cozy village. A dino storage, my little house. This is where I'm living now. It's kind of nice. Yeah, I like it.
I spent the rest of the day moving all of my crafting stations into the new house, and moving all of the resources. On day 21, I began throwing out all of my dinosaurs inside of my new dino pen.
You can go there, and you there. Alright, I actually have more things than I realized. Huh.
I then spent the rest of the day moving the final things into the house, and by the time evening came, it was time to get myself to sleep. On day 22, I wanted to start working towards getting myself a poison drake. In order to make the food for that, I needed to kill a golden dodo, which would give me the kibble that I needed, as currently I didn't have enough.
Oh wow, that's a lot of damage. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's give me my golden kibble. Alright, we should have enough now to be able to make the food to tame the drake.
Once I had myself my golden kibble, I went out with my anklo and I started farming some more metal. Once I was done with the run, I returned home and I put it all in the forge to get it cooking up. I then went and used the golden kibble to make myself a drake tribute. All I had to do next was find one.
Oh, it's a poison drake. That's good. I could use that thing for taming things. That's really good. I knock it out. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Oh no, no. Okay, that's a bit of a problem. Yeah, it's a major issue. No!
Luckily, he didn't attack me while I was knocked out, and when I got back up, I started shooting him. It seemed that he was stuck in the air, so I kinda got some free torpor on him. Once my PT woke up, I used it to finish him off and get him knocked down.
That was close. That would have been very bad. Alright, let's give him the food. Badass Drake. Poison. This is gonna be interesting.
Now that I tamed my drake, I named him Chaos. It was time to cryopod him and take him back home. I crafted a saddle for him during the night, and then it was time to go to sleep. On day 23, I equipped the saddle to the drake, and I found an innocent bystander, which I was able to test him out on.
Let's see what he can... Oh my. That's a lot of torpor.
It turned out that the poison drake was a great investment, as it's going to make knocking out creatures in the future a lot easier. I then headed out and got myself some more silica pearls, as I was running quite low. For the rest of the day, I didn't really do much. I just emptied my inventory as it was quite cluttered, and I just crafted myself electronics. On day 24, I wanted to progress into taming the alpha tier, so I found myself an alpha rhinoceros, and I was able to knock him out using my drake quite easily.
Let's give you food. You eat meat, apparently. Okay. Come on. Eat up. Hurry up. Hurry. There we go. Finally.
Now that I had myself my first alpha woolly rhino, it was time to cryopod him up and take him home, where I would need to make a saddle.
Okay, that's not cheap. That's a lot of resources. Alright, let's throw you out. Let's equip saddle. Try you out. Alright, I see a victim. See a victim. Okay, that's not bad. 5,000 damage. It's not awful. It's pretty good. Let's harvest him though, get some hide.
On the next day, of day 25, I ran around killing a bunch of wildlife, and I got myself a bunch of berries. It actually turned out to be a very efficient berry farmer, so I made sure to stock up.
Oh yeah, look at all these berries. Right, I think I have enough. Yeah, look at that, bunch of narco berries.
Later on that day, I went out adventuring, trying to find another drake so I could kill it and get its trophy, but instead I was met by a bunch of raptors.
They just keep coming. There are so many of them. Where are they even coming from?
Once I dealt with that problem, I had a new one. I didn't really think about it, but I couldn't use my rhino to kill the dragon. So instead, I used my powers and shot him out the sky. I looted the drake tribute and all the extra ammo, then I headed home where I was able to craft myself more food to be able to tame another drake.
Alright, let's make some food. What is that one? I've got to kill bosses for it. Let's make this one though, and then I can tame another drake.
On day 26, I flew around until I eventually found a fire drake. My poison one didn't really do any damage, it was only really good for knocking things out. So, after knocking it out, it fell to the bottom of the ocean, which was a slight issue.
How deep is this? Wow, this is a long way down. Let's tame it quick and get out of here.
I made my way home and I named my new drake Lucifer, but the night started to fall in. On the morning of day 27, I used some XP potions that I looted to give to the dragon and give him XP. This way, he would have a bunch of levels, and he'll be more powerful.
Give you some health and damage.
Once he was leveled up, I found a brood mother just sitting below the base, and I figured I would use my new fire dragon to try and kill it.
Burn. Okay, this is going to take a while, not going to lie. Oh my wordle. This has took forever. Finally, we got it.
After spending pretty much the entire day trying to kill him, I eventually got what I wanted, which was the broodmother trophy for taming the next tier of dinosaurs. On day 28, I found an alpha giganotosaurus. I used my drake to knock him out, but things got a little bit sketchy.
And I'm stuck. Ow, ow. And to sleep you go. Oh yeah, you're big. You're very big.
After taming my new alpha giganotosaurus, I went on to look for more creatures. I ended up finding an alpha raptor, which I thought would be quite cool to tame. I couldn't make the giga saddle yet anyways, so I thought why not.
So give you food. Prime meat. Alpha Utoraptor. There we have it.
After taming my second alpha dinosaur of the day, I returned home and made myself an alpha raptor saddle. Then I went out farming obsidian as I was running a bit low. Once I finished and arrived home, I went to sleep. On day 29, I started the day by crafting myself some cementing paste. I then went out on a little adventure and found a dragon. This is one of the mini bosses which you actually need to kill to be able to tame ubers. So I used my raptor and tried to fight him.
Okay, I can't lie, I didn't really think this through. This is a bit of an issue. I can't reach him with my raptor.
It turned out to be a bit of a disaster. I came back with my dragon to try fight him, but all he did was fly around in circles. So I gave up and flew home, and I ended up crafting the things to make a trap. This way he wouldn't be able to escape. Day 30 through to day 32, I spent the entire time building a new dragon trap. With this, I could lead him inside and he wouldn't be able to fly away, which meant I could kill him.
Right, come on, follow me. Follow me. Over here. Get you in this trap. That's it. Line you up. And in you come. That... Really? He's just gonna destroy it? What? I spent ages building that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to destroy the trap, which I spent 2 days building, but hey ho. Instead, I ended up going for the easy option, and I found a gorilla which I could kill and take his tribute.
This is pretty awkward, I'm not gonna lie. I like running circles around him. There's rocks everywhere. Yeah, we're doing good. There we go. That wasn't too bad. That's pretty good. Alright, we got our tribute. Beautiful.
Day 33 through to day 35, I didn't really do much. I just flew around the map and found some dinosaurs to tame, which I ended up knocking out a Alpha Spino.
Eat your food. I'm gonna use you to try to take down the dragon, hopefully.
Once I tamed him up, I returned back to base and made myself a Giganotosaurus saddle. I took him out to kill some things, get some hide and meat. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to use him for bosses, as his rage meter, it would kill me. Instead, I played the safe option and made myself a Spino saddle. Day 36 through to day 37, I took out my Spino and killed a few things and leveled it up, and then I spent the rest of the day and 37 rebuilding my trap out of metal, in hopes that it doesn't get destroyed this time. On day 38, it was time to put the theory to the test, hoping that he wouldn't be able to destroy metal.
Alright, come on, in you come. There is no way. How? How? Like, how do you kill this thing?
After another failed attempt, I went into day 39 and I wanted to tame a bunch of dinosaurs. I found myself a Alpha T-Rex, which I could also try to kill it with.
Oh yeah, this thing's a big red T-Rex. This is nice. I like this. Alpha Tyrannosaurus. Yeah.
After I tamed the T-Rex, I headed over and found a griffin, which I could also use to try and kill the dragon.
Down you go. That's it, to sleep.
After I knocked him out, I gave him his food and waited around, and then I took him home for the rest of the day. On day 40, I used the griffin to try take on the dragon, which was a bit of a mistake.
Oh! Ow, okay, maybe this wasn't a great idea. That hurt. I don't have a lot of health on this thing, so... I'm kind of struggling. I can't really hit him. It's just like flying past me.
In the end, I gave up with the griffin and I had a new idea. I was sick of this dragon bottlenecking me, so I used my dragon and sat on it whilst I used my avatar powers to kill him. This way he couldn't fly around and avoid me, and I could kill him easily.
Oh yeah. Oh, that thing was the bane of my life. Well, what do they get? A dragon trophy.
After taking down the dragon, I had to get myself a monkey trophy. I don't know what I did with the last one, it kind of disappeared. So I used my Giganotosaurus to kill him, but I very nearly died.
I'm dead. I'm so dead. Oh! Oh my! That was close. He just enraged. I don't know how I'm not dead. This is a good job that I'm the avatar and I can fly away. Alright, is he gonna kill him? He is. Nice.
I made sure to take the trophy this time and keep it very close to me, and after I had it, I returned back to my house where I instantly used it to make a Uber boss tribute. On day 41 I flew around until I found my first Uber. There's 4 different types, but I found a Dodo Rex that was just stuck inside of my trap. I took full advantage of the situation and knocked him out, and it was time to tame up my first Uber dinosaur.
Oh yeah, let's give him his food. There it is. Eat it! Yes! The first Dodo Rex. Name him Jirexy. Yeah, Jirexy.
On day 42 I went out and farmed myself some more fibre, and I didn't really do much for the rest of the day except to make a saddle for my new Dodo Rex. On day 43 I took it out to kill things and level it up, and it turned out that it was actually quite powerful. I ran around the desert until I found another Uber, and I came across a gorilla which I used him to take him down.
Whoa, that's a lot of damage. 40,000 to hit. That was pretty easy. Yeah.
After I dealt with the gorilla, I found a wild Dodo Rex nearby which I wanted to kill and see what kind of loot he gave.
Dragon head!
This meant that I wouldn't have to torture myself in killing another dragon just to get a trophy. But on day 44, I found a brood mother which I took down, and I got myself the final trophy. Now that I had all 3, I headed back home, I made myself more food to tame my next Uber. Day 45 I flew around until I found one, and I came across a level 560 dragon, which I knocked out.
Well, that took a while. Finally. He's a big dragon. It's heavy food.
Now that I have myself my second Uber, I equipped the saddle and gave him an experience potion to get him some levels.
Alright, let's give him some health and damage. Okay, I got 1.5 million health. Let's see how much damage it does. Alright, that seems pretty good. 12k. That he can get 7k on the breath. He seems pretty strong, and he flies fast as well.
I flew home, and for the rest of the day, I just kind of chilled around the base. On day 46, I started off by farming myself some fiber, which I was going to use for upgrading the saddle. I needed to upgrade my dragon saddle to make it a bit more tanky. Once I had it, I was able to equip it and go out and fight a warden.
Right, this 8 million health. Yeah, this is going to take a while. I don't know what's better to use, this or the Dodorex.
After fighting him for literally over a day, I eventually took him down with my Dodorex.
What? Kill him. There we go. Wow, that took a while. Yeah, 10,000 hide. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of hide.
After taking down my first warden, I also got myself some essences, which I need 8 different types to be able to advance to the next tier.
Hold up now. What's that? A reindeer? What is that doing here? I'm gonna knock it out. Tame it. Oh. I'm not meant to knock it out. It's a passive feed.
Unfortunately, by knocking it out, this meant that I now had to wait if I wanted to tame it. I continued flying around when I stumbled upon the final boss just wandering around.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my distance from that thing.
When I got back to the house, I placed down a potion smithy. This would allow me to make potions which I could heal my dinosaurs in combat. The only thing I needed was cooked meat, so I placed down a cooker, placed the meat inside, I just had to wait for it all to cook up. On day 48, I used my Ankylosaurus to get myself some stimberries. It wasn't the most efficient, but it did get quite a lot. Once I finished farming, I headed over to the chemistry bench, placed them inside, and I was able to make myself a bunch of stimulants. I spent the rest of the day crafting, and by the end I was able to make myself a bunch of dinosaur healing potions. Day 49 to day 50, I spent both days hunting down wardens to get myself more essences.
Purple Giganotosaurus. Okay, he actually kind of does a lot of damage. Go on, die. There we are. And there's 2 wardens down, I think 5 more to go.
After defeating my second warden, I got myself my essences and I got myself a chest plate which had unlimited durability. I moved on to my third warden, which almost ended in my Dodorex's death.
That was close. Good job we've got the health potions. There we go, that's the 3rd warden down. Wow, look at all that pelt that I got. Oh my, that's crazy.
When I arrived back at the house, I ended up equipping the costumes which I looted from the wardens to my own dinosaurs.
Okay, let's see what the rhino looks like. What? That looks so cool.
On day 51, I caused a bit of a massacre. I came across a massive cluster of raptors, which I flew around and killed them all.
This is ridiculous. There is so many. I mean, look at all these body bags on the floor. I won't be looting them, that's for sure. Actually, they just keep coming. There's so many.
It turned out to be quite efficient, as I walked away with almost 40,000 hide. I then went and found my 4th warden, which was a giant Doedicurus.
And burn. Another one down. There we go, 4 wardens.
After taking down my 4th warden, I headed into day 52 and I found my next victim.
Argentavius with a top hat. It's interesting. There's 2 of them. That's 1 down anyway. The next one dead. Easy. That's pretty good. 30 essences there. That's pretty nice. We saw some better gloves as well. Put them on.
Now that we were one step closer to advancing to the next tier, I flew around looking for more, and on the way I killed some alpha primes to get myself some black pearls, and then I ended up getting lost inside of a cave, which I found some magnosaur eggs and decided to loot.
Okay, I'll take this. Thank you. Oh. That's not good.
On day 53, I found myself another warden, which I had already taken down, but I figured that there was no harm in taking him down again and getting myself some extra essences. I then figured it was probably a good idea to head home and deposit some of my loot, as my inventory was quite a mess. Placed down a air conditioning unit and placed down my magnosaur eggs, and for the rest of the day I spent sorting out my loot and moving around dinosaurs around the base.
There we go, line you up. You just stay there. I claim my magnosaurs. They might die. I don't have any food for them. We'll see.
Day 54 through to day 58, I came across my first celestial just floating in the air.
That's interesting. Hopefully I can tame that thing soon.
I spent the next few days hunting down Ubers so I could tame myself more. I came across a dragon which I chased around in circles, and I eventually killed him.
Right, where's my trophy? There it is.
After I took down the dragon and looted him, I found myself a brood mother, which was the only thing I was missing to be able to make myself more kibble. Once I had everything I needed, I headed home and imprinted my magma saw, but it looked like he was kind of starving. Oops. I had to head out and find myself a golden dodo to get myself more golden kibble, as I needed it to be able to make the food to tame more creatures.
Ooh, 21. That's a lot of kibble.
I finished off the day by crafting the food to tame more bosses. And on day 59, I found myself a Megapithecus, which I knocked out using my Drake, and I was able to tame him.
Our third Uber. Let's see what he looks like with the skin on. Oh, he's red. Let's oh, that was pretty sick. I like that.
Day 60 through to day 63, I killed a bunch of wardens, and I finally had everything I needed to craft my matrixes.
Okay, these craft extremely slow.
On day 64, I headed over to where I remembered seeing the Celestial, and I used my matrix to tame him.
Oh yes. Right, let's quickly level him up. There we go, XP potion. Right, that's a lot of health. A lot. Oh. Okay, this thing flies fast. This is good. Let's test it out on this guy. Wow, this thing does a lot of damage. Yeah, this is pretty crazy, not gonna lie. Hey, where did it go? What the heck?
I now have myself quite a nice arsenal of dinosaurs, which I can use on day 100. Things were going pretty well, but I wanted more Celestials. So I headed out and found myself more wardens, which I had to farm to get more essences.
Oh, this thing's dying fast. And he's dead. That was so much easier with a Celestial.
On day 65, I found myself an Alpha Sarco, which I wanted to tame just to see what the skin would look like on him.
Oh, ouch. Where are you going, Mr. Crocodile? Come here. What the? Why is my camera? Look out. There we are. Right, on a serious note, why does he look like that? So weird. Let's try it with the skin on. Okay, that's even worse. What is up with this guy?
After I tamed my Alpha Sarco, which looked like a potato, I returned home and I thought I'd better feed my tames.
Okay, I think they're gonna devour this meat. They're starving.
Day 66 and 67, I spent the entire time trying to tame an Argentavius, and it turned out that I couldn't actually knock them out.
Why can't... Ow. I'm burning. Burn it, burn it, burn it. Retreat, retreat.
Since I couldn't knock out a modded Argentavius, I knocked out a normal one as I just wanted to try out the skin.
Alright, let's give this thing some meat. I don't even know why I'm taming this thing. I don't even need it. I just want to see what the skin looks like. Let's have a look. What the... What is in the ugly is that? Why is it chin on the floor?
On my way home, I came across the war chief of the Ark, and I tried to fight him with my Celestial. Let's just say, things didn't go to plan.
Okay, this thing actually kind of hurts. Oh, you just hit me for 2 million. Oh, I'm dead. Mayday, mayday. Help, help. Dodge them, dodge the missiles, dodge the missiles. I think we're good. I think we're good. No. Oh my god. My heart. I'm still dodging them. I think we're good. I think we're safe. Whose bright idea was that? Oh, look at my Celestial's dead.
Somehow I survived that, and I have no idea how. Once I got back to the house, I made myself more food to be able to tame a new Celestial Dragon. Day 68 through to day 71, I tried to find myself a new dragon. Unfortunately, after scouring the whole island, the only thing I found was Raphnus' Celestial, which I used my matrix to feed him and tame him.
This thing does a lot of damage. Yeah, it's, the only thing is it doesn't have a saddle, so it probably dies easy as well.
On my way home, I did a little side quest, and I got myself some fiber whilst getting jumped by a Sabertooth.
Right, that's it. Get out of here. Leave me alone. I'm just trying to farm fiber and you're harassing me.
On day 72, I thought I'd finally make use of my greenhouse, so I placed down some crop plots to put some vegetables in to allow me to make some potions.
There we go. Alright, now I need some seeds. Okay, I need seeds and stimberries for poop for fertilizer. I think we should have enough now.
Once I finished, I force-fed my woolly rhino stimberries, which made him poop like crazy.
Thank you for the poop. Let's fertilize my farm.
As I was about to start building my irrigation, I found a dragon literally where I was going to build it.
Thank you very much. I don't think I could have got any more lucky. Literally on my doorstep.
I spent the entire of day 73 building a water irrigation to my house. Once I finished, I filled up all the crop plots with fertilizer and seeds. On day 74, I wanted to take my gorilla out for a spin, quite literally. So I equipped the saddle and leveled him up quick, and off I went.
Okay, I see my victims. Spinny, spinny. This is it. All this thing does. It just spins. It's interesting.
Once I finished messing around with my spinny gorilla, I found an alpha ankylosaurus which I knocked out.
Right, to eat your meat? It's kind of weird that it eats meat.
Once I tamed it up, I also went and found myself a badass ankylo, which of these also are meant to farm more resources. I wanted to put it to the test and see which one farmed more, but it turned out that the alpha ankylosaurus was just better overall. It was faster, it farmed a lot, and it just made sense to use it. I actually used it to run all the way home whilst farming myself obsidian. Once I got back, I had a lot of resources which I was able to put into the forge and be able to craft. On day 75, I went out looking for more wardens, and I found a giant turtle, Gnasher. I quickly killed him, and once I got my essences, I actually didn't need many more to be able to tame more celestials. I headed home after this, and I checked out how many I needed, and I only actually needed 4 more.
Right, I better go kill them, I guess.
Day 76 through to day 79, I spent looking around for the remaining wardens. I ended up finding 2 that were right next to each other, so I eliminated them both, got myself the essences and some extra loot. This meant that I only now needed 2 more wardens before I could tame myself an army of celestials. I continued my search and I found one. The only problem was it was on an island that was infested with raptors.
Oh yeah, kill them all. Kill them all. And now it's time for you to die as well. Alright, I need 1 more warden.
After a long few days of farming wardens, I had myself 3 different types of essences and a ton of hide. So I decided to go back to base, empty my inventory and spend the rest of the day crafting myself narcotics and stimulants. I started day 80 by running around with my ankylosaurus farming bushes. I have no idea why when I have a woolly rhino, but hey ho. I then used them to be able to craft myself some new potions, which actually imprinted my dinosaurs.
Hey, that actually works? That's insane. Let's use it on all of them. Oh, does this one raise? Nope, it's still a baby. But damn it.
To finish off day 80, I found my final warden. With taking him down and getting the essences, I was now able to start making my celestial army.
I got some pretty good loot from that.
Day 81 and 82, I made myself more matrixes, but they do take quite a long time to craft. Whilst I was waiting, I made myself some potions which increase the speed of my dinosaurs. I equipped it to my dragon and I tried it out.
Oh my, that is fast. That is, let's try it without. Yeah, that's slow. Meow.
With the ability to now fly faster, it did help with scouting. The only thing is, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. I continued flying around until day 85, where I was able to find myself more tames.
Alright, the second Primordius. Why, hello there. Let's tame you up. Or try, anyway, I guess. There we go.
I now had myself 2 of each celestial, which I'll be using for day 100. On day 86 and 87, I wanted to try take on one of the bosses to see how easy it was to kill.
Not gonna lie, I don't think this is actually gonna come in with me. Let's see. Oh, it didn't. Let's oh no, I can't even throw my tame out. That's a bit of an issue. I have to fly around. Quick. Get to the edge. Ooh, he almost just threw a rock at me. I'm gonna have to shoot him from over the side. Oh, I'm gonna be shooting him for a little while, I guess. Die. Come on. Before you throw a rock at me, ideally. I don't want to die. There we go. That could have gone worse than it did.
Luckily, because I was the avatar, I was able to kill him without any dinosaurs. But honestly, I probably would have died if I wasn't. I spent the next few days through to day 90 looking for 1 more celestial. I had 1 more matrix, and I wanted to tame 1 more to use on day 100.
Oh yeah. So, we got a good armory now. We got a lot of dinosaurs. It's looking good.
Day 91 to 92, I ended up taking out one of my new dragons, and I killed a bunch of creatures to level it up. I then continued flying around when I wanted to test something out. I'd looted a helmet, which apparently gives me underwater sight, so I wanted to see how it worked.
Alright, let's see the difference. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. That's very good. There's a shark. It's coming fast. Oh my god. That was close. Very close.
I ended up flying around from day 93 to 98, looking for the final boss. I eventually found him, as he's always spawning in different places. On day 99, I threw out all of my dinosaurs.
Okay, we made it. Almost day 100. And we got a lot of dinosaurs to try to take this guy out. So let's see how it goes. Alright. And in we go. Okay. Attack him. Okay, that's not good. But he's doing a lot of damage already. Okay, a lot of things are dying pretty quickly. Sooner than what I expected. Okay, yeah, a lot of things are dying. This might not go very well. Right. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. There's just 2 of us left. One of us, just me. Oh, I got 15 million health. Health potion, or die. Come on, finish him off. Yes! And I actually survived. That's crazy.
And just like that, the Avatar was able to defeat Anunnaki Genesis while suffering only a few casualties.